Hi friends, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In this video, we will learn about the one of the important concept in the CSS, that is nothing but an inheritance. How the inheritance actually works in the CSS. Let's try to learn it now. For example, let's say that this is our HTML file. Okay, so here this is our HTML file. Let's say that I am applying HTML color of gray or gray or red color, let's say so. So where I am applying to the HTML element, not to any div element or anything. So here I am having a div element, hello world, and here I will be having another div element. Inside this div element I am having paragraph. I can have, this is a paragraph. Inside this one I will be having another div. This is a div element. So these are the HTML which I will be having. Now what I have did here, I have applied color red to the HTML, not to anything. Now if you try to see here output, now if you observe here, we have applied the color red to the only HTML element, but surprisingly what it has happened, it has applied to the div element and also to the paragraph element and also to the another div element which is present in this one. So what it is happening here, the HTML, the color red what we have applied to this one, it is automatically got inherited by the div element, this one. So that means the body also will have the red color. So here you need to understand that one thing, that whatever the properties, CSS properties, so you apply to an element, the child element also will inherit those properties. For example, let's say that here I am having div class is equal to my parent. Okay, I'm having this one. Let's say that I have applied my parent color of green. So now here I have applied for this div element, for this my parent, the color should be green. Now if you observe the output, how it will look like here. So now here the what this thing happened, for the main HTML, for the parent, the color is in red color. Okay, so it has applied the red color to all its children elements like body, like head, body, div element, like this. When it comes to the div my parent, here if you try to observe, HTML color red has been applied, inherited from the HTML. Here you will be able to see that HTML is one of the parent for this my parent. So because of that reason, color red has been imported. But for this my parent, we have applied a color of green. Now if you go here inside this paragraph element, this HTML is a grandparent. Okay, so color red has been applied, but the closest parent, so the color green, why it has applied is, for this one the closest parent is the my parent, not the HTML element. The closest parent is my parent. For this my parent, exclusively the color was green. So because of that reason, the color green has been applied to the parent, to the paragraph, and also for the div. So that is the thing you need to understand. First of all, you need to understand that CSS properties will be inherited to the child elements. Whatever the parent element is having the CSS property, it will be inherited to the child elements. And another thing you need to understand, that the child will inherit the properties only to the closest, only with the closest parent. If the closest parent doesn't have any color, means it will go to the next parent. So like this, it will go on to the next parent. So here the div itself is having, and it will go to the next parent body. So it will check that body, whether the body has a color or not. It doesn't have anything, then it will go to the HTML. Or otherwise the body, it will try to check what is the color it is getting applied. It is getting applied from the HTML. So paragraph and div also will apply the HTML like this. This is how the inherit actually works. And another thing what you need to understand is, not all the CSS properties will be inherited. So this is also one of the important concept you need to understand. So here color green is one of the automatically inherited concept. So not all the properties will be inherited. Only there are certain properties which are inherited. For example, let's say that margin, padding, border. So these type of properties will not be inherited from the parent. For example, let's say that for the my parent, I have applied border of 1 pixel solid red I have applied. So this one I have applied only for the my parent, for the parent. So now automatically, for example, if the inherit is supported, means the paragraph element and also the div element also should have a border, just like how the color has been inherited. So the border also should get inherited, but the border will not be inherited if you try to see here. Okay, so here only the div my parent has a border, but the paragraph doesn't have a border, and also the div also doesn't have a border. So this is one thing you need to understand. So not all the CSS properties will be inherited. Only some of the CSS properties only inherited, like color, fonts, letter spacing, line height, list style, visibility. So like this, we'll be having some of the properties which will be inherited. Border collapse, border spacing. So these types are also inherited, but the border, margin, padding, those all things will not be inherited. So this is one concept. Background color, those all things also will not be inherited. For example, let's say that I have here P class is equal to my child. So this is a my child. Let's assume. Now I want this border to be inherited by the my child, for the my child. So my child. So this is the paragraph is there, right? So for this my child, the border should be inherited. So there is nothing but my parent has a border of red color, and this my child should be inherited. So one thing what you will try to do, so you can copy this border thing and you can paste it here. If you try to see, observe, so for this paragraph also we are able to get the border which the parent is having. But I don't want this type of behavior. Tomorrow what will happen is, for example, if it has been changed to 2 pixel and if it has been changed to green, means then again for the children element also I need to update here. So for example, if you see the output, here the border is 2 pixel and it is green color, whereas the paragraph is still in red color. Why? Because we are exclusively mentioning for the child element. So in order to have the inheritance, in order to apply the inheritance to the child element also, we have a special value that is nothing but an inherit. You can use this inherit. Now when you inherit it, when you tell that border to inherit, this border will be selected by the nearest parent. So this, the closest parent is my parent. It will try to check that whether the border is there for this one or not. If the border is there, means so that border will be taken by the paragraph element also. If you try to see here, this paragraph is also having 2 pixel green color. For example, let's say that tomorrow for some reason I have changed it to yellow color. So now there is no reason for us. There is no reason for us to change the border for the children element also. So there will be no there is not required. Why? Because we are inheriting the border from the parent, so that automatically the child also will have the same border what the parent is having. If you try to see the output here, the same thing. So the paragraph element is also having the same border. So this is how we can control the inheritance using the inherit property. For example, here if you mention color as inherit, here if you mention the color as inherit, so this one will be automatically inherited. So this one doesn't have anything to do with it. So here if you try to see, the color will be automatically green color. Why? Because these are by default inherited. By default inherited. There is no need to mention this one. But the border, margin, so for example, if I apply margin of, I try to say padding of 10 pixel. I have applied all the sides padding. So that means for only the parent element only the padding will be applied. I want to apply this padding to the child element also. That too also the parent element, how much padding is there, I want to apply it. So what I can do here, I can literally say that padding should be inherit. So that means whatever the padding it is having, so it should inherit from the parent also. Now if you try to see the output, see the child element also took the same padding. So here the child element is also having the same padding what the parent is having. Now tomorrow if I try to change it to 20 pixel, automatically the child element also will take the here like this. So this is how actually we can control the inheritance. So here we can control the inheritance, means this is how we can inherit the parent properties which are not inheritable also by using this inherit value. So normally the color is also automatically inherited. So there is no need to mention the color inherit this one. So by default, this font size, font style, font weight, these all things are automatically inherited. There is no need to mention. For those properties which are not inherited, so you can exclusively use this property value inherit, so that value will be inherited from the parent. So this is all about the CSS inheritance. There are also some other properties which are available in the CSS inheritance. We'll try to learn it in the next session also. about that one all. So this is why we use the inherit property in the CSS. Hope you understood about this inherit value, CSS value. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.